And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we head into Champion Select Saints Gaming over on the blue side, as well as Indiana over on the red side. Once again, my name is Daniel, the Save On Man. Joining me is Colin C. More, and we're heading into these bans.
And it looks like right off the bat, we see Akali over on the blue side getting banned out. And Aphelios, you said Aphelios meta kind of champion right now, getting banned out right away. They don't want to play him.
Yeah, exactly. On both sides, right? Because sometimes the ADC is a little bit, or at least Aphelios as a champion is a little bit mechanical, right? You got to definitely watch out for your ammo bar, as you only have 50 bullets per gun or per weapon. And sometimes that can get a little bit hard to control, right? Which weapons do you want to combine with each other? Because some of them have the passive, whereas different combines, all of that fun stuff. You were mentioning the Akali. Of course, Akali is a very meta champion in the top lane as well as in the mid lane, even though she has received a couple nerfs.
Yeah, and on the two sides, the second ban's coming out.
It's going to be Echo as well as Veigar. Echo over on Saints Gaming, and over on the red side we have Veigar over for Indiana. Of course, Veigar mainly played in the mid lane, and the reason why you ban out Veigar is two reasons. Number one, he can stack really well, right? Does a lot of damage towards the later parts of the match as well. Young Falcon definitely plays a whole lot of that champion, so take it off the board. We're talking about the Echo top tier jungle right now, AP as well. You can kind of flex it into the mid lane, so take that off the board.
Yeah, and then over on the blue side, they get rid of the Vladimir.
Yeah,
and we can see the Olaf going out. I actually remember seeing Vlad get picked over the over on one of the teams that we were practice casting one time, and the Vlad just went off. So it's kind of typical to probably see a character that's that easy to kind of like take over the game.
So incredibly insane. Uses his health bar for the ability usage.
Yeah,
as well. Most of his abilities you can regen your HP using them. But yeah, Olaf, standard jungle. I was predicting that earlier. It's going to be taken off as well. Senna is going to be the first pick over here for Saints Gaming, though. Probably going to go into that ADC role. We usually don't see support Senna right now.
No.
We very, very much see Senna in the ADC role. Very, very strong.
But we're going to see none other than the Nautilus support
and the
over onto the red. And yeah, Ornn. Top lane, you predicted both of those.
Exactly. But it's a very easy meta to predict when there's just so few top-tier champions in their certain roles. Nautilus and Ornn are definitely two of those champions. Definitely a really good response. That's usually what the red side picks are used for, right? They see what is first picked over on the other side, over on the enemy side, and then they end up picking two very huge power picks. And I don't think they could have been happier with Nautilus and Ornn.
And over on the on St. Clair's side, they were hovering over Kayn for a while. I didn't actually think they were going to lock him in, but they ended up locking him in. Is that kind of maybe a pocket pick?
Yeah, definitely. Mainly because Kayn is okay at ganking in the early game. If you're getting killed by Kayn in the early game, you're definitely doing something wrong, because the only thing he's got is a slow on his W, and it's only really a 30% slow for about a second. So it's nothing too crazy to know. Right? The only time that he really starts to get popping off is going towards level 6, 7, 8, when he finally at the 11-minute mark gets his different form. And then also the Mordekaiser coming through is a really, really good pick. I definitely love that one just because he's so incredibly strong in these solo lanes.
Yeah, and it looks like the red team and Indiana University of Pennsylvania is going to want to play the Rek'Sai over in play the Rek'Sai.
Play the Rek'Sai over in the jungle. Definitely very standard in the jungle as well. And this is a very huge matchup. I think we'll go more in depth as the actual game goes on. But Rek'Sai definitely going to be used as that early game pressure. A lot of early game junglers, if you don't have 3 KP by like level 6 or level 7, then there's something that's wrong over on the front.
And right away, I saw that the University of Indiana, the Firehawks, they wanted to get rid of Pantheon extremely fast. They did not want him up there.
No, Pantheon very strong in the mid lane. I feel like this Mordekaiser might lean more towards the top lane just because of that Pantheon ban. But right now in this meta, we're more so seeing a lot of switches coming through. A lot of top lane champions you can play in the mid lane, vice versa.
Yeah, and then the St. Clair Saints, they didn't want to go up against an ADC like Miss Fortune, so they got rid of her, and Morgana being banned out too on the Firehawk side. Yeah,
Miss Fortune top tier ADC right now. Very, very simple to play. It does a lot of damage with their crit build. And yeah, with the bullet time as well. It's just such a strong ultimate to use. Use it over a wall, use it in a place where the enemy cannot get to you, and you literally can't do anything as you're sitting inside of an AoE ultimate. But we got a couple more bans. You talked about the Morgana. Morgana definitely a very strong support to play into Nautilus, so that's taken off the board.
Yeah, and they finished up the ban phase by getting rid of LeBlanc over on St. Clair's side. So that's another kind of character I don't usually see banned out very often.
Yeah, it's more so a pocket mid lane pick.
Yeah.
It's played in a lot of matchups where you don't exactly, or LeBlanc counters a lot of. I more so see her as a noob killer.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of cases where if you cannot dodge your chain or play passive at the correct moments, then you're just dead. Right, so LeBlanc very aggressive against those type of players. Ashe as well as Irelia going to be picked up here in the next phase. Ashe, of course, very strong on her own front. It's a little bit weird though, because she's a mobile and she's mainly used as an ultimate champion, which is exactly what this red team needs, but I don't know.
It's my favorite.
Yeah,
I started off with Ashe.
You like Ashe? There you go.
Yeah, but St. Clair they want to finish off with a support Braum pick.
Yep.
Which is gonna I do enjoy seeing some Braum play.
I really like St. Clair's draft here just because I feel like they're very closed in on what the meta offers.
Yeah.
Right? Active Force wants to play his own champion, so he picks up the Kayn. The Braum Irelia, super strong combo. That was a really good response to the Ashe, just because of what her solo presence offers, as well as what Senna and Braum offer together.
Yeah, and then finishing up with the pick phase, the Firehawks, they wanted to draft Cassiopeia.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to be extremely beneficial in the team fights with their ultimate.
Yeah, definitely. We were practicing with Cassiopeia as well. Definitely very strong on her own front, just because of the amount of engage that the whole entire team offers for herself. As well, Cassiopeia is really good at disengaging a situation. So there's definitely going to be a lot of situations where Cassiopeia is going to be useful.
And that being that, we're just waiting a couple seconds until we hop into the Rift. So this is my favorite time of the game.
Yeah.
I know you know.
A little bit of
it's
analyzing.
My favorite time of the game.
Yeah.
Who's going to win this game?
So we do have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So of course we have to answer that question, but I kind of want to save that question.
Okay, till after.
For a little bit. You're getting a little bit excited. I know.
I jump in the gun.
I know. Don't you worry. But I think that we got to analyze these team cons just a little bit more, right? And I think that we got to start over on Saints Gaming. All right, so if you guys don't know right now we've got Mordekaiser, Kayn, Irelia, Senna, and Braum. Definitely a very solid team to play as. The only problem with this team is that they've got a lot of engage. They have a lot of get in your face, go. What they also have is a lot of disengage. The Braum is very good at just kind of escaping if the enemy team really wants to go aggressive with the Ornn as well. Braum's shield can block Ornn's ultimate.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases where Ornn does want to use his ultimate as well. Mordekaiser really nice at preventing a lot of the engages with his ultimate. Has a lot of re-engage with Irelia. So they're kind of flexible over on that front. As for pick comps, I'm not too sure about that one. They don't really have... They kind of have a little bit of a pick with the Braum if the Braum wants to roam with really anyone. But this team is mainly going to be out in the open, just trying to team fight.
Just trying to team fight, indeed. So the matchup between the Senna Braum and the Ashe Nautilus, who do you think favors that bot lane right now?
Right now, Senna Braum is insanely meta.
We saw Senna Braum really takes over the late game.
Exactly. The only thing that I'm thinking about that's really good with Ashe is her ultimate. Her ultimate is so incredibly annoying to face against just because of how much pick it offers. And this is what I was going to touch on, is that these guys over on the red side, Indiana, they got a little bit more of a pick comp. It's a lot of single target damage. It's a lot of zoning, right? And it's a lot of pick. Ashe, Nautilus, Ornn can definitely be used like that. Rek'Sai, the way that she burrows into a team, can definitely knock up one of these players. And we're going to be seeing a whole lot of that engage going more towards the mid to late game.
Exactly. And one thing I'm really looking forward is the jungle play between these two teams. I'm not too knowledgeable on the Kayn, but I do know that Rek'Sai is a very mobile champion to be playing. So I'm just curious to see how this Kayn will match up against the Rek'Sai.
So the problem with Kayn right now is that he's got a lot of jungle clear. It's really good, right? Because they ended up buffing the jungle camps in this recent patch. So we're going to be seeing a lot of Kayn clears come through. Only problem is that it allows Rek'Sai to now open up and allow offers for herself.
Yeah.
right? So you're going to be seeing a lot of mid lane ganks, maybe top lane ganks, definitely in the bot lane as well once the level 6 point hits. Rek'Sai is super annoying when it really comes to those different angles that she can take. But it's going to be mainly on the side of Saints Gaming in order to really kind of get back and really watch out for those certain things.
Yeah, and you touched up on the start of the analysis that Saints Gaming going to be looking for the more spread out kind of one-on-one fights. Yeah, they want to take those team fights. They want to probably shut them down fast. And on the other side, we're going to be seeing how the Firehawks can stop that from happening in this game. So now that it's over, I want to touch on who do you think is going to take this game one?
I don't know why I've got it's a little bit of bias. You could see advantages on both.
Yeah,
on both sides. If Rek'Sai can get in the early game and start snowballing these lanes, game's over.
Yeah.
The only thing is if Kayn can capitalize on the missed timing of Rek'Sai is when Saints Gaming can really pull up because they've got a lot of meta picks. Their snowballing is absolutely insane. Irelia, Senna, and Mordekaiser. I've never heard of a better lineup than that. The Kayn going more towards the 15-minute mark when he finally gets his evolved form is going to be insane. Red Kayn is just going to do so much damage. So we'll see how it all breaks down. I think Saints has this one.
So you're going Team Saints and you're leaning towards that it's all on the jungle play. And that means I'm going to be taking over for Team Firehawks right now. I know it's right here, but whatever you go for, I'm going to counter you on that one. Yeah, you got to counter. I'm going to counter you on that one. I think the Firehawks got this.
Yeah, why is that?
Because of the Firehawks.
There you go. That's the only analysis that we need over on Colin's side. But we've got a solid team comps. We got a couple of solid team comps on both sides as we head into this match. Game number 1 is what we see right here. Over on the blue side, we have Saints Gaming, of course. We have Lord Touch Me in the top lane, Active Force in the jungle, Young Falcon in the mid lane, Blazin on ADC, and Barnacle Boy himself on support.
Yeah, and taking a look over at the Firehawks lineup on the top lane, we got Rumbag playing Ornn, Asian dude in the jungle playing Rek'Sai, Cornhole, and Clunk, playing Cassiopeia in the mid lane, Abraxo playing Ashe over in the bot lane ADC area. Cool Kumquat. You're gonna be playing Nautilus over as Ashe's support.
And do you like kumquats?
I don't. I've never tried a kumquat in my life.
I don't even know what a kumquat looks like.
And Mike just gave me a look. But other than that, we're gonna see Firehawks setting up for the default kind of early game setup. And I think there's a lot of jungle presence for St. Clair right now.
Yeah, you could see right here how they're kind of blocking all the entrances. Not an official 5-point start, but definitely one to note about. I kind of like how both of these junglers are starting more towards the bot side. Not a huge fan of the Rek'Sai start on the bot side, just because I feel like she can definitely utilize red buff way more than blue buff. That's what a lot of kind of low elo-ish junglers do. They got to start on the same side as the bot lane.
Yeah, and as the minions spawn, we're going to start to see some jungle clear. Popping them right away with the Firehawks. They're going to go for blue buff right away, like you said. And St. Clair's going to be taking red buff on the other side. And you're saying that maybe red buff is the way to go for Firehawks, not the red buff. So that's an immediate mistake in your eyes?
A little bit. Just because I feel like the top side of the map offers a little bit more for Rek'Sai. I don't think that she is going to be able to really gank top lane unless Mordekaiser is just not good at positioning.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing. If he wants to shove in Ornn very early on, maybe push him right towards the tower, it could be interesting on that front. But yeah, Rek'Sai going to be clearing her bot side jungle as well. The Kayn with a very easy clear going for himself. Going to be going red into Krugs into Raptors. Gives him a very nice level 3 very early on.
And even Aurelia getting kind of aggressive over into the jungle of Firehawk. So we might be seeing Aurelia wanting to take the fight to the Cassiopeia early.
Yeah, it's usually what Aurelia does. Is she loves to act very aggressive in her own lanes, and Aurelia is one of those champions that is usually played into the top lane.
Yeah.
But you can flex it into the mid lane just because of how much aggression she has. But you can see the Cassio. Once she ends up getting her first item, that's when she's going to start doing a little bit more damage. But at this point, she doesn't have enough base stats to really hit home about.
No, and like you were touching on how the Senna Braum in the bot lane.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You're good.
Senna Braum in the bot lane, you know, really late game. So we're going to have to see how the Nautilus and the Ashe match up early. The burst from the Ashe doing so much damage over onto Blazin, so they're going to have to back off onto their turret. Yep. You're pointing off to me that the Rek'Sai was starting to gank top lane, but he backed off of that, I see. So she didn't want to take that fight just yet.
Beautiful communication coming through as Irelia ended up warding, of course, the red buff like we were touching on earlier. And once you saw the exit from the red buff, not towards the Krugs, but towards the top lane, is when Mordekaiser was like, all right, she's going to take about 3 seconds in order to finally come up here. Let me just back off for the time being. Let me see how I can play this scenario. But right now is not the time when Rek'Sai would be trying to gank top lane just because Ornn is not having the absolute best time. Of course, Ornn can buy items all across the map. So yeah, he gets himself a Ruby Crystal. Really nice 400 HP for himself.
Yeah, I was. If you didn't touch on it, I was about to touch on how Ornn not having the greatest time over in the top lane. But over in the bot lane, we see a nice fight going on at first blood in hands of Braum. Cassiopeia now really, really low as the Kane's jumping onto Rek'Sai instead, leaving the Cassiopeia aside. So Rek'Sai going to just jump along underneath the walls and get away from that fight. So really good communication from the Firehawks to get out of a possible 2-0 situation early.
Absolutely beautiful early game start as we ended up seeing Braum take the first kill, and this is why I feel like Braum Senna is so incredibly strong right now. It was just for that reason alone. Yeah. The Glacial Augment on Senna makes it so that her auto attacks slow her opponents, and it's just so incredibly strong and very annoying to face against as well. We also saw in the mid lane, even though there wasn't too much, like there wasn't a death, Kane was able to waste the enemy flash. So what that means is now Cassio is able to be ganked on as well. Kane got a couple of stacks towards his passive. If you didn't know, auto attacks as well as abilities onto enemy champions level up Kane's passive, and it allows him to evolve once his passive is fully stacked.
Yeah, Ornn in the top lane has to be really careful, but at the same time, I think Mordekaiser was biting off a little more than he wanted. He got really close to that tower without any minion support to kind of block him off. So he did good getting out of there, but I think he was just getting a little bit too ahead of himself early in this game.
Well, there's two sides that you can look at it, of course. It's the more passive side where you take your time, right? Really nice TP coming in from Ornn. Thank you, Observer, for catching that out. Yeah, Mordekaiser, of course, wanted just a little bit of extra damage onto Ornn. Right? Yeah. He was able to tank a couple of those tower shots there, just so that he forces the Ornn to back. But we can see over here, yeah, kind of interesting is that we're on the edge of our seat right now as we see Rek'Sai over this wall. Could potentially gank if she wanted to maybe make her way into the topside river here of mid lane. But there is a pink ward in the bush, so I think Relia's fine right now.
I don't think Rek'Sai wants to really get at that. Cassiopeia being really aggressive though, but over in the top lane, Ornn was getting really, really close to that Mordekaiser, and the Mordekaiser was so ready for that. I'm just taking a look and focusing on this bot lane too, because there's a lot of fighting going down there, so I'm just waiting to see what comes out under that. But the Kane jumping into the Rek'Sai hopping up, using that, but that was a nice out from the Kane to get away from that fight.
Yeah, just get out of that fight, but Mordekaiser says no as he wants to try and pull the enemy in. You see the Ornn horn now coming through across the screen.
Yeah, and that was actually really good backup from the Mordekaiser. Almost had the Rek'Sai in his hands, but Rek'Sai really good to get out. But looking at the bot lane over in the bottom left corner, we see Senna and Braum getting pushed by the Nautilus, and Ashe getting so many shots down onto Blazin, and Blazin going to be dropped. So now it's Braum's turn to be hooked by the Nautilus, and the burst fire from the Ashe is just way, way too strong right now to fight up against. So Ashe getting a nice double kill, and Firehawks now 2-1.
Beautiful double kill coming in for Ashe there in the bot lane. Was really nice in order to come back, even though Senna was just not able to dish out enough damage. Of course, we're going to be heading into replay as the dragon is now taken. We get to see another action of that bot lane fight. Very easy, slow onto the Senna herself. Just gets a little bit too over-aggressive. And of course, Braum, nothing you can do. And as we were off screen, of course, you guys ended up seeing Ocean Dragon taken as the first dragon of the match.
Yeah, first dragon of the match going towards the Firehawks. So that was a really, really good time for them for the Nautilus and the Ashe to be aggressive so that they can kind of take the Braum Senna out of the play and just instantly take that dragon for themselves. And we were talking about how Braum Senna is a really good matchup, but I like the hook kind of burst that the Ashe and the Nautilus have going on right now. It's a lot of damage.
It's the new killing aspect of Ashe.
Yeah.
Because her passive is if you auto attack someone, they automatically get slowed for a lot. right? Add on the Q, the rippling Q.
Yeah.
The rapid shot, arrow, whatever, and as well as the W if it ends up hitting, then it's a very dangerous scenario that you run into. The other problem here is that Braum ended up getting that kill in the early game. So, of course, he ended up going back to base, got a very easy early game support item, as well as the Kindle Gem now coming into this, but wasn't really able to allow his ADC to really scale as she could have if he got the kill in the early.
And I was taking, while you were explaining, I was just kind of keeping an eye on the top lane, what Mordekaiser was doing. He got out of that fight,
yeah,
and he TP'd back to pick up some items, I'm pretty sure, and he's just dominating that lane right now.
71 to 40 CS for Mordekaiser in the top. And of course, Ornn becomes Ornn at the end of the day. That's what I usually like to say about tank players, is that eventually at some point in the game, Ornn is going to be unkillable. How fast is he going to get to that point, though? Not as fast now, because he's 30 CS down. 30 CS is basically equal to 2 kills.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows, yeah.
Well, he's not. He's like you pointed out earlier. He's just straight up not having a good time right now.
You can also see Mordekaiser freezing that wave up in the top lane, too. Just a little bit, right? Freezing means just kind of waiting, last-hitting these minions, not constantly auto-attacking them, but he's making it so that Ornn cannot walk up to the wave to farm, but you can also see that Cassio kind of walking maybe towards the top side, as Asian dude not able to secure the crab.
No, I think Rek'Sai was also wanting to kind of put some pressure on, but the Kayn getting in between the Mordekaiser just made the Rek'Sai back off. So now we're seeing Mordekaiser and Kayn pushing towards the Rek'Sai, and they might want to get this, and he misses his pull onto the Rek'Sai. Now they're both going in for this. Rek'Sai has to be super careful to get out. Taking some damage from the Mordekaiser and smashed down to half health right away.
A little bit of a mistake coming through from Mordekaiser, though, as he did not want to ult. We see bot lane, a really nice fight coming through. Support versus support on ADC. Barnacle Boy now flashing in. Nice ignite to finish that off.
Yeah, and that was a really nice team play between Senna and Braum to take out the Ashe right away. Nautilus hooks out towards his tower and just wants to get out of this. So I'm guessing he's just going to try to defend his turret a little bit as much as he can while waiting for Ashe to get back. But while that's happening over towards the Rift Herald, I think that's going to be St. Clair picking up the first Rift Herald.
Yeah, we have a little bit of lull right now as Rift Herald's being taken as well. Rek'Sai not going for a defending game. Let's look at a replay really quickly of that bot lane team fight as we see Blazin with an absolutely amazing heal as well as ultimate. Barnacle Boy being that sticky Braum that everyone usually hates as well. The Braum passive, so incredibly annoying. While all that is being said, though, that's going to be Herald towards that top side. So many plates are going to be going down now.
Ornn has to be super careful. The airborne for both Mordekaiser and Kayn coming out, but that is Ornn getting dropped right away. Rift Herald is taking the turret down, and this should be the first turret going down in favor of St. Clair as Mordekaiser and Kayn both working together to get rid of it.
Yeah, usually it doesn't really happen at this point in the game.
No.
But 5 plates being taken down. Usually Herald takes out 2 or 3, maybe 2.5. But the rest of this squad, since there's just so many minions, Ornn is nowhere to be seen. The minion wave is not even halfway up the lane itself. It's just not even close. You're pointing at the jungler items as well. Insane amounts of CS as well going through here. Fun fact, Asian Drew just got level 6.
Yeah.
This dude's 2-3 levels behind the game.
You said that this game was determined on the jungle.
And it is.
And right now you can really see that the jungle is falling behind over on the side of the Firehawks, but looking at Braum and Senna getting pushed back to their turret, and they're going to clear this wave. I remember you were telling me before, Senna really good for clearing waves.
Yeah, definitely, as we see that right there, where usually it's very hard to CS under tower. It's a little bit pressuring, just because there's so much extra damage that goes down onto the minions before it hits the tower. But you saw this, and he was able to get all of that CS. Just the CSing on the side of Saints Gaming is immaculate, right? The mid lane is a little bit similar, but you don't really expect anything much more from a Cassio. But you can see here in the mid lane, Mordekaiser now kind of looking to get out of his top lane shell.
This is going to be dangerous for Cassiopeia as she gets pulled back. The ult from, Aurelia coming out, and honestly, that was just a losing battle for Cassiopeia.
It's just not a fun scenario to be in. Of course, she was sitting on a ward before she got engaged on as well, so it was a scenario that she could have never predicted. But this is definitely one of those situations where Cassio was kind of like the rock of the team. She was sitting 0-0-0, had the potential to still scale towards the late game. Now, since, you know, a little bit of CS lead going over to Irelia, the Infernal Blaze is going to be taken, or no, it's going to be, Inferno is going to blaze across the map, and Mountain Dragon is going to be taken for our hometown heroes. Ashe is kind of like that carry now. 2-2 and 0 has the potential to still become something.
Ashe is actually having a pretty standout game for the Firehawks right now, kind of keeping the bot lane at bay for them.
Yeah.
It's honestly like the one thing that's shining for this team right now, as on all other aspects of this map, St. Clair is just looking so good. Mordekaiser are looking to take out this Ornn, misses his ability right away, and this is just Ornn. You said he was unkillable in the late game, but right now he's just not doing too much.
He's got a Leandri's versus Ornn's Merc Treads and Bomby Cinder. There is nothing that Ornn can do versus this Mordekaiser. If you saw there, Mordekaiser used his ultimate, meaning he was not able to escape the death realm. So Ornn just kind of had to walk all the way around. Really nice Nautilus hook coming through, but Senna is so incredibly strong, even though the Nautilus ult is going to go out. It's kind of going to miss. Maybe a little bit of a re-engage is what we can see right now. The slows are so incredibly strong. Nautilus is going to get stunned up for the time being. Senna as well is going to try. This bot lane duo is absolutely popping off. So many slows here in the bot lane coming through, as they're not able to do enough damage, but also the slowing is so incredibly strong. We also see Irelia going 1v1 versus Rek'Sai. Can she do this here? Reset's not able to pop off. Irelia just wants to back off.
Yeah, and that was really good from the Senna Braum duo, as you actually saw Braum get hooked, and that was just a perfect time for him to just work his magic, put up a shield, ult away at the two, and then it was game over right there for the two. But Ornn once again going down to the Mordekaiser and the Kayn. This duo is just doing so well to stop that top lane at all. Just shut them down instantly, as you can see in the CS between Mordekaiser and Ornn. It's double almost.
You see in all three of these lanes complete dominance from St. Clair. The top lane, so much pressure being put up there. The Rek'Sai gonna be pulled back in.
Yeah, that was actually so close for the Regs. I almost caught out of position, but able to get out of that. Now looking at the bot lane, we're gonna see Senna. We're gonna alongside Braum to just get out of that. I thought they were going to kind of engage in that, but they don't want to fight that just yet.
Do you know why? It's because right now Senna has one item compared to Ashe's one item.
Yeah.
But Senna hasn't gone back to base yet.
No.
So we haven't seen what the new Senna is going to look like once she comes back here into this lane. But Barnacle Boy and Blazin', who would have thought that the duo in the bot lane is absolutely popping off?
Yeah. Who would have thought?
Not me, man.
Not me.
Not either of us.
No, we did not see that coming. It's all on the fact that Senna's just popping off right now. The Braum working really well, but looking at Kayn getting on top of that Rek'Sai, stunning him up. I think that was Senna all coming through too to help him out a little bit, and we see Kayn getting in there. Mordekaiser helping him out, pulling the Nautilus back, now moving over towards the Ashe. Ashe slowed down right now, so it might see a collapse between the two. Ornn all coming through, doesn't connect with anybody, but Braum blocking off that Ornn ult, and we see more. Who is? I can't even tell what's going on.
Ornn gonna be stunned up. The double kill coming through for Mordekaiser, as Active Force ends up finishing off that fight.
I knew that I thought what I thought was right. I just was like, I can't tell. But I was right. I just want to say.
Right.
I didn't say it though.
You gotta flex your muscles just a little bit here on the cast, as we need to watch the highlights of that team fight. There was so much stuff that happened there. It started off by Lord Touch Me ulting the Ashe. The Ashe, though, with really nice kite ability, ended up flashing towards the left side as well. The Braum blocking off the ultimate means that it was just an absolute clear fight for Mordekaiser to just pop off. Mordekaiser would have got stunned up there, would have actually died, and then just the complete cleanup. 10-2 is what we see Saints Gaming on right now. almost a 10K gold.
Even that entrapment at the end with the Aurelia ult was just huge. Able to stop them and then just collapse on them right away to finish that off. But Aurelia looking for more, working with Mordekaiser on the Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai getting jumped on and destroyed by the Aurelia. Young Falcon having the time of his life, moving over towards Nautilus, getting shut down though by the Ashe. The Ashe now 3-3-0. You said that Ashe was the potential carry of the team.
Yeah.
And I just don't think right now at this point, I don't think that's going to help enough. Mordekaiser getting jumped on with the Ornn and the Nautilus, having a lot of help with the Braum. But Mordekaiser does not want to give up, takes down the Nautilus, pushing in onto the Ornn, slams him down for the double kill, and now St. Clair, they're just going to back off.
Going for the complete pop-off is St. Clair right now as Active Force wants to land the knock-up, and he's able to do so on to Clunk. Not able to slow him down just yet.
The Casio flashing out of that was very nice to get out, though.
Yeah, we got to watch a replay of that last little bit there because Mordekaiser just absolutely popped off here. He does... I'm sad that he doesn't have a Rallies because it would have just been absolute dominance, more dominance than this. But Ashe was just not able to get in that team fight just because of the ultimate coming in from Mordekaiser. Was able to ult Rumbag to just kind of secure the kill. And just Ashe was just super
St. Clair is feeling themselves right now.
Oh,
you know they want it. And with the CS with a 10K CS lead over Firehawks, 10K gold lead over the Firehawks. They just look to probably take this out right now, but with the team fight coming in, rooted is Ashe. Barnacle Boy going to be finishing that up. Now hopping onto the Nautilus, not able to hook himself up as Braum gets the double kill in that team fight, and St. Clair moving towards the Dragon to get their next. It's going to be an Inferno Dragon, too.
Yep, the Infernal is the main soul of the game. And, of course, the Observer just caught that there. The bot lane tower, very, very low on HP. Was not able to go down just yet. But it's still all good because Rift Herald is available on Kayn right now as they end up getting that Infernal Dragon. Definitely really good for themselves.
Yeah, and now it's not... I don't want to count them out just yet. It's a big mountain to climb for Firehawks. And to get out of this, is there anything you want to see them kind of change up, even if it's looking to the second game?
The main thing that I'm looking at, and I'm still looking at, is the Ashe.
Yeah.
What can the Ashe do in these team fights to really, really help out? And I think that she kind of had the right initial plan, but just like the execution is not coming together. The Rek'Sai able to steal away. The main thing I'm looking for is picks, and this could be their first pick, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and Rek'Sai with the nice stun up over onto Aurelia, but Aurelia able to get out of that. Kayn lurking around the jungle, able to kind of jump over and help anybody that he can in that situation. And it looks like he wants to take some jungle away from the Rek'Sai.
Yep.
So now looking at the mid lane, it's just all full scale ahead for St. Clair as they push on forward and they want to start maybe sieging this zone.
That's what we have to start looking for, is maybe a fight and even a pick gonna come out, and the Braum gonna block the Ornn ultimate to save the fight completely. Ornn knocking up a couple of members. Mordekaiser now gonna start to pop off here in this last team fight. The Kayn CC not able to land as Casio gets absolutely destroyed. Who is next is what this Mordekaiser is saying. It's going to be the Rek'Sai, and as well, the last little soul coming through is going to be the Ashe. That's the complete ace for the side of Saints Gaming, and they're looking for the Nexus.
Yeah, and that is just it. It was just a one big stomp from St. Clair. They just wanted to work together. They were just an unstoppable force, moving champion after champion, taking them down, and now they're just going to move to the Nexus, and they're going to look to take it out early.
21-3, Saints Gaming end up winning this match at 21 minutes and 40 seconds into this match. Just pad up the KD is what all of these guys are saying.
Oh.
That Senna ultimate was absolutely insane to finish off this match. Nexus on half HP. As everything is just going to finish.
It's just St. Clair, they don't even want to take the Nexus out right now. They just, like you said, they just want to pat their KD a little bit more. They're going to pull the Casio towards them. Nexus is done. St. Clair taking game one in an absolutely dominant fashion. As that you said at the start, it's all on the junglers. It's jungler battle between the Firehawks and the Saints, and Kayn shone. He was shining.
Insane play by Active Force there to really come through and absolutely just destroy his competition. Oh my goodness.
One thing I just want to say, I want to point out is Barnacle Boy, Braum.
Dude, this is flexing his muscles.
Every single time that Ornn ulted, it was blocked by Braum. There was no, like, did Ornn even do anything in that game?
No. That's the main thing I was looking for, is that the only reason why Braum's going to do so incredibly well is because of that reason alone. But I think that we got to start wrapping it up here. Let's look at a massive replay of the whole entire match, just to recap what we ended up seeing. Of course, it was the early game where Blazin and Barnacle Boy were not able to capitalize on their competition. Just ended up getting destroyed here in the other game.
That was their low. And from there, they just went up and up.
High.
Just right here. This is their high. See Braum pushing over towards the Ashe and just absolutely destroying them with the work of Senna's Q.
Braum says no siree bot.
No.
Stun, going through.
That shield is sometimes overpowered. But this play from the Mordekaiser to get in there with the Ornn all coming out and Braum pushing forward, just getting rid of that. Because that, like you said, that would have stunned the Mordekaiser. Yeah. Able to get in there with his ability. Senna helping him out, going to finish up on the Casio. Moving towards the Nautilus. The Aurelia in the end, just going to finish everything up and just confirming every single thing that happened in that fight.
It was so good. And then Lord Touch Me. This is where you really saw him pop off on the Mordekaiser himself. The Mordekaiser ultimate doing so much damage there. Yeah, and then we get to also see this late game team fight here.
Yeah, and every single time like we look at this, we just see complete just synergy from St. Clair and disarray from the Firehawks. They just didn't know who to look at, who to take, who to focus. They were just everywhere.
Yeah, and yeah, we get to kind of watch this game slowly whittle out to its final seconds. Of course, Ashe not able to do any damage. She only has a Bork for herself as well as boots. What is that going to do versus a full-on Mordekaiser? But I think we got to wrap it up here and head into game number 2. So the big question that we're all looking for is, can Saints Gaming close out this match and end up winning this one? Or are the Firehawks going to come back and force us to a game number 3? We got to watch out as we head into a break. Don't go anywhere. We got Saints Gaming action coming up in just a little bit.